Welcome, everyone, to a Buzzing About Romance Happy Hour edition. Um, Becky,
Leah. And
Leah.
tonight we are celebrating author Ofelia Martinez, who is down below, in her release. Latest release. Oh man, we're starting off real good tonight.
So
Hiding
strong.
in the
So strong.
Smoke. Becky, will you
Yay.
read Ophelia's bio for us?
Ophelia writes romance with Latinas on top, originally from the Texas border. Ophelia now resides in Missouri with her partner and their dog, Pixel, which I just love that. Um, she loves good books, tequila, and chocolate. She proudly shares a birthday with, I'm not going to say this right. Have you met me?
Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon. I can say that. When not writing, you can find Ophelia making visual art. Welcome to Happy Hour, Ophelia.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Okay, so the rules of the night, you can ask all the questions you want in the chat, and we will do our best to answer them all. Sometimes we get a little distracted off on our tangents, so if we miss it, we apologize, but we'll try and get everything. But
I
we're
see
going,
Maria and Araceli in the chat. Hi. Sorry, my
no, that's fine. Talk over us all you want. It's fine. So let's kick this off in our traditional way. Ophelia, what are you drinking tonight?
all the tequila.
All
So
tequila.
I made a margarita with Patron,
Ooh.
but I have recently found out that Patron is not a Mexican-owned tequila company. So I started drinking, and I'm not sponsored, I swear, but La Gritona, Mexican-owned, women-owned, and they employ women. So I'm doing tequila shots with that.
Nice.
So might have to upgrade my tequila now.
I don't think they have that in my store.
They probably don't have it in ours either.
It's not a great sipping tequila. It's good for mixing drinks with it. It's a little cheaper, but they're really trying to not whiskify it and like westernize it and really keep the agave. But if you like gin, you'll like it because it does have that like herbal agave type flavor.
I will like it then. And honestly, I don't care if it's a cheap tequila.
Tequila's
all the same.
It's really good. It's
I do
good
like a good tequila, but I mean,
my expensive tequila is like Espolón or something like that, and it's just because I can buy really big bottles of it.
Becky, what are you drinking tonight?
A margarita because, okay, and we promise not to spoil this book, but you guys, this book pops at 16 freaking percent, and all I have to say is hot damn tequila.
Yeah.
I blame everything on the tequila.
Everything is on the tequila.
But honestly, there's one moment that happens with the tequila that you do not want to miss because holy hell, it is hot.
Like I'm reading this and I messaged Leah and I'm like, oh my God, it pops. And it pops big. She's like, okay, I'm gonna read
can
it.
you explain what pop means? Because I know I have a lot of girls I'm recognizing from my like usual readers, and I don't think I've explained to them what the pop means, and I think it's so interesting.
So hi, Susie and Hilda and Maria and Angela and Jazz. So pop is a buzzing about romance steam grade we give to our books. So one thing we have found with doing the podcast and all the books that Leah and I read, steam is very subjective. With our episodes, we have contributors that come on and help us review different books and stuff. And what I might find just to be mid-range steam, they're like, oh, but that was really, really sexy. And while it was really well written and it is sexy, it is not necessarily as sexy as I would put like a 4 or a 5. But one thing we can all agree on is the percentage of book that we have read when there is some on-page action. It does not have to be...
It doesn't have to be sex. It can be, I read a book where there was a mutual masturbation scene that was, wow. So it popped at that because like, it was really hot. So it depends. Like, it's just a really intense on-page action moment that it kind of leads to everything else.
I just love that metric. I started putting it in my product pages because I thought it was the easiest way to explain what you're getting yourself into if you pick up this book.
Yeah. So like we say, you can tell a book's going to be a slow burn if it is at 65% before, they're really having that physical intimacy. And again,
My slow burns pop at 80. It's so bad.
Okay.
And that's a slow.
Leah's face was like, no, can't.
We're going to work on this.
I can do it if it makes sense.
Angela, this book totally pops, and it pops at 16%. Because that is the percentage of book that you have to read before there is some steam. And that it also kind of, I think, tempers expectations a little bit. We were finding a lot of traditionally published books. People were like, oh my God, this is sizzling hot and sexy. Well, if all you've read is traditionally published books, then yes. But that sizzling and sexy to me is like a step above Closed Door, which it's okay if you read Closed Door. It's just not my thing. Like, leave the door open, and actually, could you leave the camera on? Because I need to see everything. Anya says this book is by far her favorite of yours, Ofelia.
Thank you.
Tequila equals shirtlessness.
Oh, Ayana, thank you so much. These ladies are so awesome. Yeah, I feel like and this is, I think, true for every author. Every book you write is going to be a little bit better because you are learning, but also I hear my readers. I hear what they're telling me and what they like and what they don't like. And I don't say I'm going to pander to my readers, but if multiple people are telling me they're struggling with a certain aspect of my very first book, I'm aware of it as I'm writing the next one.
Yeah.
So I think everyone's just...
And it's just like a strength. The more you do it, the more you're going to build strength within it. So your first book is going to read very differently from your 28th book because you've come to a moment where you understand what you're doing. You have figured out this little piece and that little piece, but you never want it to be a conformist and not to show growth. You want each book to show growth. And actually, something we talk about a lot is, hi, Heather. A lot of times the second book will have a little bit of what we call the sophomore slump because you work so hard on that first book to the point that it's probably been over-edited, like overworked, like really
the sophomore slump.
Yeah,
and that's the second.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think people liked my second better than my first, from what I remember.
See,
I think less people read it, but the ones that did liked it better, if I remember correctly.
So, and that shows right there then that you are listening and you're taking your editor's advice, you're taking your beta's advice, because a lot of times we'll see the first book is like, oh my gosh, this is great. This is the author's first book, really?
And then we kind of dip, and sometimes they don't quite come back up.
Yeah.
I am doing something that I've been told. I'm doing a lot of things that I've been told not to do. And I'm rebelling in very big ways, in a lot of ways. But I've been told to write the same steam level always because some readers are not going to cross over with me. And I can't do that because the sex to me has to make sense to their characters in the story, number one. Number two, I need a palate cleanser. When I read too much sex, I need something that's more of a slow burn because it starts to sound very anatomical if I just keep reading that. So I don't want to also write that way. So I'm writing steam levels. It's all open door, but I am writing steam levels like across the gamut. And I know some readers are not going to cross over, which is why I'm so thankful for the pop, because now I can be very clear. You might not like this one, but you might this one. And there are people who like the slow burn stuff that are not going to cross over to the tequila book very well.
But I do like we make fun, but I do like a slow burn when it makes sense and it is thoughtful. Like if it's just a slow burn for the sake of being a slow burn, that's when it gets to me. But that's okay. So Ofelia, why an author?
Okay, wait, but before we go there, I am going to put up Ophelia's link to her newsletter. Readers who sign up get a free novella when you sign up for her newsreader club. This is a great way for her to keep in contact with you and let you know what she's got coming up on the horizons and little glimpses into her writing and stuff. So if you have not signed up for Ophelia's newsletter, make sure you do that. Look, I am like on top of it tonight.
You are on top of it. It's because we have not had one for a while.
I was going to ask, did you pregame at all?
She
or
did
are you
not
totally
pregame
sober?
No, I'm sober because
Tequila Becky's the best.
Tequila
I
Becky
had so
is
much
the
fun with you on tequila. It was great.
No, okay, so Leah made me read a book last night real quick before we interrupt things.
I did not make you read a book.
She said, this is the quick shot we're doing, so you need to read this book. So I read this book.
But it's such a funny book.
Yes, and I was up till 2:30 in the morning reading it, laughing my ass off. It was hilarious. It pops early. Anyway, we can talk about that at the end, and I'll tell you all what it is. Or just listen to our coming up quick
nice shot. Teaser. What a way to get people to like stick around. I need to know what this book is.
Right? I was dying.
Book.
The woman hugs a funnel cake, you guys. She steals it and she hugs it to her chest.
And then
she loves it so much.
I feel like I would love this woman so much.
She's kind of my spirit animal. She was stoned on gummies. So
maybe a churro though instead of a funnel cake.
There we go. Okay, Leah, now you can ask the questions.
Okay, so Ofelia, why an author?
I don't have a memory of ever not wanting to be an artist of some form. And I always thought I was going to be a visual artist, a painter. For a while, I wanted to be a cartoonist. And I've always written as well. I've done everything, like anything that's artsy, except for musical stuff I've done. And it came a point to where my attention was too split between writing and visual art. And I thought about what my strengths were, and not self-deprecating at all, but I recognized I wasn't a great artist. I could appreciate great art, but I don't have it. It's great as a hobby for me, but I knew that I was a stronger author and I could still paint in my head these stories with a written form. So I just knew I had to write. And I really set out to be like a very pompous, smoking my pipe tobacco kind of literary author. I wanted to be the next Sandra Cisneros, like that was my goal. But I was beating my head against the wall with that. It wasn't like I was writing a bunch of stuff before I started writing romance, and it was like pulling teeth. I wasn't enjoying it. And I did a romance as a palate cleanser, and it poured out of me. Carolina and Hector's story, just like they came to life, and I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. It was a real aha type of moment. I'm like, now I can be an author because I found what I'm supposed to be writing. So it was kind of a artsy kind of, I was that loner artsy kid, and that's how we all turn out to be authors. I think.
Or podcasters.
Podcasters. An art of some form of communication.
Yeah, because I like to read the words and fix the words, but I don't like to write the words.
I love writing the words, and we need people that like to fix the words so bad.
Susie says she's so glad you tried romance. Susie, we have noticed your absence from Drunk Book Club, aka
and we have missed you.
Have I not? I don't think I've met Susie.
You haven't met Susie.
So for the ladies in the chat that I know, they don't know what Drunk Book Club is, but Becky and Leah run this awesome book club. It's the funnest book club I've been a part of, y'all. It's all on Zoom.
Thank you.
But I don't think I've met Susie because I'm fairly new. I've only done it a couple months.
Susie's been working.
She was working, but I think she was on vacation 1 month too. It's okay. She'll be back.
She'll be back. She's not allowed to leave us. She knows.
She is stuck with us.
We hold Susie hostage. But if anybody would like to try out Drunk Book Club, you can find links in our bio, but also just send us an email and we'll send you an invite for the next one and give you all the details. Anyway, back to Ofelia.
It's so fun. We stayed up till 3 a.m. once.
That was just our Halloween, like, let's come talk about books.
Yeah, but that was so fun.
We don't talk about just books. Like, we talk about all sorts of things, but it always starts with books. But okay, so next question.
Sorry, I keep derailing.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine.
This is what it's like to have a conversation with us, right, Leah?
We only have 1 hour.
No, this is Becky and I on a everyday basis. Like, she calls me to ask me a question, and like 45 minutes later, we get to it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so are you, in your writing process, are you a pantser or a planner?
Sierra Simone came up with the best term for it, and now I identify it. It's a mixture of both, and she crowned it the panty liner. So, which I think it's awesome. But it's I have to have a very bare bones skeleton plot. I need to know, and I tried being a pantser because all my favorite bougie authors are pantsers. I'm like, I'm gonna be like them. I couldn't do it. The stories never went anywhere. So I need to have like one sentence of what's gonna happen in each chapter so that I can see. And then those things can change, and they often do, but I need to have a vague idea. And in a bigger scope, I do have like 30 plus books vaguely plotted, because I'm very much doing a Pixar-y, Marvel-y type thing where I have hinted at book 30 that I'm not going to write for like 10 years probably already. So I'm plotting in a very loose way, but very deeply, I guess. So panty liner in both.
I like this.
Everyone needs a good panty liner at times. So
It's true.
just
I'll make it a thing, like the pop and the panty liner.
the pop and
Susie would like to know how quickly you can turn a book out.
oh, because apparently Susie is desperate for the next book.
Okay, so Lola's story is done. I'm having trouble with my design for Lola's story for the cover design, but it is set to come out in January. It takes, for a first draft, it takes me about a month for first draft. Then I need a month for self-edits and beta reading, and then another month for line edits and proofreading. So 3 to 4 months from like writing the very first word all the way to having a finished product. But I usually do give myself time to set it all up and put it together. And there's production. So I would say 4 months per book. But I do write them much further ahead than when I'm planning on releasing them, so that it's not a 4-month wait for you guys. It's like a 2-month wait for you.
Yeah, Susie, January 11th, I saw that when I was scoping out Ophelia's Amazon. And actually, I'll just go ahead and put that link in there too.
And everybody thought Lola ends with Fritz. Lola is with Carl. I don't know. It's just what people know. It's Lola and Carl.
If you guys aren't following Ophelia on Amazon, make sure you do that. That way you will know when books go up for pre-sale, when releases are coming up, and if she happens to have books that might be on sale. This is all good stuff. It also helps with the Amazon algorithm. So if there's a smaller author that you love, a great and easy way to support them is to hit the follow button on Amazon. So thanks, Heather, for following.
Thank you. And Becky, you are such an advocate for authors. Like, I've noticed that about you as I've been listening to you talk to other authors. You're just such an advocate for the genre, and it's so special hearing you talk about it. So just thank you.
You're welcome. It's like, you know what? It's funny because one of our Patreon members, she's like, I want your job. I want to sit on the couch and read books. And I'm like, well, that's not all it is. As Leah has gotten the phone calls of me like crying or I don't know what I'm doing. What the heck is this?
Yeah, but you've made it an advocacy position, which is hard work. Advocates of any kind are hard
The
workers,
romance
so.
genre is special. The women in this genre, the men in this genre, the human beings in this genre are amazing individuals, and
The readers too.
Just everybody. There's so much empowerment, and I know we get our drama and we have, we all have seen some of the stuff, but at the end of the day, there's so much more that this genre has to offer and gives people that I just want everyone to know how amazing it is and what it does for me.
Just say, I will write an alpha hole. I will write a toxic relationship out the wazoo. I love that shit. I will never write women tearing each other down. If you've noticed in any of my books, there's never a frenemy or female antagonist anywhere. I refuse, because we've read it enough, and I'm like, okay, let's put this to rest, because that's not what we're like with each other in real life at all. We like lift each other up and boost each other. Even when there are women that are like competing for the guy, they have a mutual respect for each other in anything I write. So at least up until now, it has been that way.
I think that's part of why enemies to lovers kind of gets me a little bit too, is I don't know. I don't need fighting and nastiness, but that's a whole different conversation. Romance is the best genre out there, point blank. Yes, Jazz, 100% agree with you on that. Susie says, it's so nice to see when books are releasing versus years ago when it was a coin toss. Oh, Susie, people nowadays have no idea. They have no idea. Back when I started reading romance, we got romance novels like twice a year. Because you got the hardback version in the spring, and a year later, then you get the paperback. And
wow,
like
that was the worst, waiting for a paperback.
Or waiting, you would get spring releases and fall releases, and never anything in between. Like
e-reader, and like you had to wait for the actual like physical copy of it to show up.
Yeah.
Times
yep.
were
Twice
tough.
a year, and you read them in one day. Yes, Susie, we know. You guys, the pain.
Let me just tell you very sarcastically, it's the best feeling when I work on a book for 4 months and I get an email. I read this in one sitting, and I'm like, bitch, slow down. Like, it took me a hell of a long time.
We won't talk about that.
We don't talk about that.
I know. It's a little like soul sucking, just a little bit.
I had an
Honestly,
author
though, like you should be happy about that, because if I love a book, I will read it. We won't talk about how fast, but if I
think
like,
you read
not,
like what, a book in like under an hour, Leah? Like
no. It takes me a couple.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So Riggs, I think, was what, about
so off.
325 pages, 360 pages.
Yes.
And you did that in about 3 hours, 25 minutes, I think it was.
Yeah, but I also took a break because I had to feed my family.
I can read 100 pages
She said
in
2
an hour.
hours. Okay.
Yeah.
I can do a 500-page book in like 3 hours, I think.
Okay.
But I'm an anomaly.
Yeah, I'm so jealous of that superpower.
It is kind of like a superpower.
It is.
Vivian, you're right. Ophelia's work sucks us in, and we are hooked and just want more. And that is very true. You do write a
Oh my God, I just read your work sucks. I was like, okay. That's how slow I read, and then I read the rest of it.
Your work does not suck, and she did not say that.
You gotta keep reading.
Keep reading. Don't stop reading. So one of the things that I find very fascinating about your writing skills, and I've read one book in the medical series, I've read Hiding in Smoke, and I had the privilege of beta reading Lola's story. You have a way of writing imagery that it's beautiful. It is a painting. They're like blurry photographs, and you give us these little pieces, then all of a sudden it's like crystal clear. And that stylistic choice is very unique to you and to how you write. So here's my question, because this is something I didn't realize not everyone does. When you're writing, do you visualize the book, like the scene?
I'm a very visual person, and like I said, I am painting the story. I do visualize it in a very vivid way. I actually had one of my writing professors in college tell me, you should think about writing movies because you're writing really cinematically. And I do love those little moments in cinema where you have like a close-up of a water droplet on an eyelash, so I love that stuff. So I like to include it. But also, if you read literary fiction, imagery is a big part of it, and there's usually meaning to it, attached to it. So I try really hard, even though it's romance and it is brain candy and it is a gateway book. I always say I write gateway books. I try really hard that I'm using the literary devices that I was trained to use, things like imagery and that kind of stuff as well. But yeah, I am very visual, so I'm so happy you got on to that.
Well, so a couple of things that I didn't realize until recently is like when people read, some don't hear the voices in their heads. Like,
Yeah, I've heard
I,
this too. I can't imagine
I don't
this world.
understand. How is that a thing?
And this might be that people that don't love reading, maybe they experience it differently.
Mhm.
Maybe they need the audiobooks to really be able to hear those
Yeah.
voices.
And
the
then,
acting.
like, people don't actually visualize the scene because let me tell you,
The
people,
tequila scene.
the tequila
I could
scene
see
I
that one.
visualized, did not reenact, but did visualize.
I'd like to see that one in action.
So my partner, Tonto, I refer to him as Tonto, and I know that's what Sophia saves Brendan her phone as, is Tonto, which means dummy in Spanish. But that's what I refer to my partner as. He does not drink. He's never had a drop of alcohol in his life, and he never will, which I respect, but I cannot reenact the scene I wrote because he does not drink.
You could use some juice.
Well, there's a very sexy scene in the
Let
middle.
me get you. Let's get this apple juice box and reenact this scene.
I mean, there's different levels of apple juice.
There's the very sexy scene in the middle. Is he interested in reenacting that one?
Definitely not.
Oh.
No.
Kind of a bit of a party pooper. I have one of those too, although he does drink, so a lot. Not a
Yeah,
lot.
so you could potentially, reenact that, but I can't.
He doesn't do tequila.
He does accidentally buy expensive bottles of bourbon.
Yes.
I think the scene would work really nicely with a nice whiskey, though.
Okay.
It's true.
I think it would.
We might have to
Put your own spin to it, for sure.
There we go. We don't need a play-by-play.
Susie wants to know if your partner read your books.
No.
No.
So he catfished me, you guys. So I've had this rule my entire adult life that if I go home with a guy before I met him, if there are no books in his room, I'm leaving. And when I showed up at his place the first time that we got together, TMI, but
It's okay.
There was
We overshare.
like all these books stacked up to like his wall. Like he didn't have a bookshelf; they were all just like on the floor, like stacks and stacks of books. And I just quickly glanced at him, obviously, because I was like, "This is hot, right? This guy reads." In the light of day, they're all technical manuals. And the guy does not read. He does not read fiction. He does not read. So yeah, he's definitely not gonna read romance. He's read a few like Asimov and like sci-fi and that kind of stuff. Like he has read some of those, but there's no way I'd ever get him to read a romance. So no.
He had stacks of technical manuals.
If I wrote a technical manual ever, he would read that. But
awesome.
I don't know that I can make that sexy.
Right. I bet you could.
I don't know.
There has to be a way to do
funny.
it. That
That's
was
so
really
funny.
funny. He catfished me.
He did with books.
I put Ophelia's TikTok in the chat. Make sure you give her a follow over there if you are on that platform. She is delightful and funny, and she also likes it when you share crazy TikToks with her like I do.
Jazz, technical ways of getting it in.
Mhm.
That's a great book title, Jazz. I might
It
take that.
is.
Should
Do you
write
have
that down.
You should write that down.
Nobody will remember it in an hour.
Okay, let me write it
I'll do
down
it right now. So, Ophelia, do you have a favorite kind of music?
Yes.
Okay, Lindsay
So-
suggests you could do a whole series of
Upon
technical
technical
manuals. No,
Of
but
ways of getting it in.
write romance novels that like have titles that are technical manual type titles. And they
Ooh.
could be nerdy romances because I'm going to tell you,
I love a
I
nerd.
love a nerd. I
Mhm,
married a
mhm,
nerd. I love a nerd.
mhm.
So
Yeah. Yeah, I'll think about it. Technical stuff hadn't been in my plans, but I love that idea.
look
I'll
at
have
us
to somebody
helping.
commission
Buzzing about
that.
romance, helping authors.
We do
One
this all the
podcast at a
time.
time.
So favorite music. So Becky, you read Lola. You know how much of a music nerd Lola is.
Yes.
That should answer your question. But yes, I rock mainly, a lot of Spanish rock also. Pantheon
Well,
Rococo, like bands you wouldn't know, but also rock in English and rock in German.
okay, so let's talk about that. But first, before we do that, do you have a Spotify list that you use that inspired, like a Spotify playlist that would like goes with each book? Do you do a playlist?
I've made a mood playlist for every book I've ever written.
Okay.
And Lola is going to have two because she's such a music geek. She's going to have the book mood playlist because the other one is going to be too much. A lot of people are not going to like it. But yeah, every book I write has a mood playlist. And these are songs that I listened to while I wrote the book or that inspired the book a little bit. So, and I always release them before the book. So if you listen to them, you'll get a sense of what the book is going to be.
Do you have those on your website?
Yes, there's a tab for playlists.
Okay, there you go, guys. If you are looking for playlists that are inspired with and by the book, make sure you check out her website. What would the pop percentage be in a technical manual? Well, Susie, depending on how quickly we can get it in.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't know that I would get to the pop very soon because I do have few other projects in mind, and I think I want to tackle billionaire next. I do like a good billionaire romance.
He could be a nerdy billionaire.
Candy crack for me here. Okay, so let's talk about your German music. So one of the things that I didn't realize, and I actually had to go look up, and I think it's because of Lola and her history, because you have blonde, blue-eyed Hispanics in the books, and then we know that this band is German, and so I had to find this connection, and I did not realize that there was a large immigration from Germany into Mexico, but also I always knew there were European bands, but Germany has like tons that really are just European and Asian. They don't necessarily come into the US market often, but there are tons of bands.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, and so what was the inspiration there?
So I'm from north of Mexico, which is where the huge German settlement happened. And clearly I'm a very white Mexican. And I've had even more blonde, like what I'm writing, Mexican friends. And people are very confused by us being Mexican. And I'm like, we were colonized just like any other part of the Americas, it's a melting pot in Mexico. So, and there's a huge Mennonite settlement in Chihuahua, the state I'm from too, which is pretty fun to talk about. But anyway, I digress. The German band, I have been called out if a certain band inspired Industrial November. And the answer to that is only one reader has called me out, not publicly on it. The answer to that is yes. I won't say which because I don't want to get in trouble. And the only thing that is similar is the singer, Bren, is very loosely based physically in the lead singer in real life of that band. Nothing else is the same. The music's not the same. The other guys aren't the same. Just the physicality of him, because he's like my ultimate dream hall pass. So I wrote him like physically like my favorite German rock singer.
There you go.
Yeah. So there was real life inspiration. I think it's really easy to guess. I just can't publicly say yes.
Well, Heather would like us to say that she likes Rammstein. I think that's how it's Rammstein. Listen, I am a musical theater person. You want to talk Broadway and music in Broadway? I am there for you. I am also a child of the 90s. So I can talk grunge rock and all of that.
Rammstein is from like the early 2000s because I remember being in high school.
I had babies in 2003, sister. We were listening to the freaking Wiggles and Raffi. I can tell you all about the banana phone.
Yeah, Rammstein's still going strong though. They still produce music.
They've been around for a long time.
Yeah.
But anyway, so let's actually talk about Bren just a little bit. So he's kind of surly and he's a little bit of a hothead.
He's unlikable the first half of the book. I'll admit to that. He's unlikable. And here's the thing, don't come for my books for healthy relationships at the start. That's the goal. I want my characters to grow, but they are going to be toxic as hell to start out with because I want them to grow and become better men, and then get into that healthy communication, healthy relationship. But I hate it when books start out that way because it's so damn boring to me. I'm like, there's no tension. So yeah, Bren is very unlikable and very alpha possessive, alpha a-holy.
But I think we needed Bren to be a bit toxic because Sophia is, for the most part, she's got her shit together. Like, you know, she knows what her future is looking like. She's determined. She is a success. She's trying to grow. She's established herself within the community. And so, you know, she couldn't have come up against like a good guy. She'd have eaten him alive. Like it'd have been like a shark and a guppy.
She would have chewed him up and spat him out. Yeah, she would have. I will say it's been really interesting. I haven't had a lot of feedback yet, but the few kind of constructive criticism, I'm not going to say negative feedback because it wasn't, but some of the criticism so far has been that they didn't appreciate how much she didn't compromise for him and didn't bend for him and didn't sacrifice for him as much as he did. And I'm kind of like, it's kind of the point.
See, that's one thing I loved about this book, because a lot of times like you see, and it's a normal like occurrence, but like you see like the woman is the one who changes their mind and who conforms and and like adapts, and like the male does to a point.
Right.
In
changes
some
their
aspects.
career or moves for the guy.
But I love the fact that like you made her this strong, intense, like character who wasn't willing to compromise her values or her ideals. Like she like had a reason and like a thoughtful process behind her, the fact that she wouldn't do certain things. Like I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm being kind of vague, but like I love that. I love the fact that like it was his mom who was like, you're an idiot, like you don't need that, because that really doesn't change anything. And I love that like she was the one who like not literally like smacked him up in the back of the head, but metaphorically smacked him.
Yeah. His mom pretty much biffed him. Like
she did, but she basically was like, you're an idiot. Like, what are you thinking? Like, you don't need this to have that. Like, you don't need this piece for this piece to happen. Like, you can have this and this at the same time. Like,
so
I just love that.
Chapter wasn't originally in there.
No.
I had beta feedback that they really wanted to know what Bren was up to while they were apart, because I had that from the Sophia's perspective. And so I had to think about what should he be doing, and I knew what he was doing in my head already, so I'm like, I'll just write it out. And so that's, his mom wasn't in it originally, so it's kind of cool that you
that's honestly one of my favorite parts, because I think it makes such an impact on his thought process and his reasoning. And I mean, it gives him such clarity in that moment where like he needed to be mommed, and mommed hard.
He did. Yeah, he needed mommed hard.
It was always in my head, but I hadn't put it into the book. It's my longest yet. So I was like, I can't, write all these things that I want to, but people were like, no, we need to know what he was up to. So I'm like, all right, I'll let you guys know.
And you do a really great job, and I don't want to spoil anything, but the way you trinkle. I've had one drink, people, and words are already hard. The way you sprinkle in the band members, trickle them in, new word, trinkle.
I like it.
Through that mid section, it actually does help with one, where is Bren and what is he up to during this moment? But it does help with the pace and the reading of the book, because it keeps us engaged to kind of know what is next, what is he coming up against, what feeling or emotion is he dealing with. And then, but it also helps us kind of get to know who these guys are. And like, I need Fritz's story. Like, he and I, like...
Fritz, I'm writing Fritz now. I'm about 20K in. I think Fritz is going to be a long book. I don't know. I have a feeling it's going to be pretty long, because it's pretty...
Well, there's nothing wrong with the duet, later, even if Leah tells you there is. There's nothing wrong with the duet if it gives me a full story and character arc.
I hate duets. I might just make a big ass book if it gets that long and be fine.
You could make a duet. Just don't don't put huge gaps between the releases.
No, I don't plan on doing a duet. If I really have to, if the book is just that ridiculously long, I would, but I would release them probably together or like a week apart. Like I wouldn't.
Well, and also if we know in like going into it, but if both
Yeah.
ends are very strong, because Becky and I have read duets where like the first book is really, really good. And like it was awesome. And the second one, it really let us down. And we were disappointed.
Yeah, that's why I'm leaning more towards just doing a really, pull a
I'm
Mariana
good with a really long
Zapata
book. That's fine.
I'm good with
Lindsay says just warn us if it's a duet.
seriously.
We don't need a surprise, Cliffy.
Probably won't. I won't say never, but I probably won't. I personally hate cliffhangers.
Surprise Cliffies are the worst.
Yeah, I hate cliffhangers. I hate and the thing is though, I love cliffhangers at the ends of chapters, and I do that a lot. I'll have a cliffhanger at the end of chapters.
And that's fine.
I suck at writing opening lines and the opening of a chapter, but I think the majority of my chapters are gonna force you to go to the next chapter.
Yes.
I that's the one place where I really do love a cliffhanger is at the end of a chapter.
But they make sense, so that's okay, and it keeps us engaged.
And you have it, and you have the next part right there.
Yeah. So I've been wrong. The tequila scene happens at 10%, people. We pop at 10%.
The tequila scene is not the pop scene. They have another.
Oh, that's right.
Before that.
They pop before at 10%.
It pops at 11%, but the tequila scene comes after. Tequila might be 16%. Yeah.
Because that's the second time.
Yeah.
I took notes while I was reading.
I did put my product page, the pop, and I did put 11% is where my Kindle said, but yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yes, the tequila.
Well, it's just because the tequila scene is so memorable. That's why we keep thinking about it.
True. It pops earlier than that. Okay, Leah. Oh, we did Ofelia on Amazon.
Did you do her on TikTok?
I did her on TikTok. Did her newsletter. That sounds terrible. I did her newsletter. Hi, Heather. Okay, so here is Ophelia's Instagram. So you can follow her over there. And then I will share the Buzzing About Romance Instagram. And you guys can join us. We post mostly just episode information, but you can find Leah and I in our personal Instagram handles.
We post book facts also. Fun book facts.
Book facts that usually call Leah out. Because I'm in charge of them. They do. Like there was one fact one day that was something about the average person, how many words they can read in an hour or something like that. And then I was like,
tell me.
And then there's
I'm such
Leah.
A slow reader. I don't want to know.
And then there's Leah. So yeah, I mean, we get it. Anyway, Leah has a game for us.
It's very PG though.
It's not like a book club game. Book club games are naughty, and sometimes Leah has visual aids.
That was a really good game, though.
It wasn't. They've asked for it back.
Your games are good.
They asked for a second showing. It was that good. Maybe December.
The Pictionary, is that what you were?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pictionary has
I
been
loved
again.
Your image of the camel toe was my favorite.
That was a good one.
Because your camel was so good.
Thank you.
We played Dirty Pictionary at book club, not this last month, but in October. And Leah drew all
I think
pictures.
it just needs to be the thing, at least a quarterly thing or something.
We could do it once a quarter. Well, you know what we should do is like take suggestions for Pictionary pictures.
Yeah, clues. They could give us what they think we should draw.
And then we can see if they can.
Was that the hardest part, coming up with a dirty concept that you have to draw? Or?
Oh no, Becky provided the Pictionary.
Like no, Becky's dirty mind is great. It's a great resource.
Yeah, actually, it is a dirty mind, and you don't want to go into that. But no, she cheated.
I cheated. I actually bought like a $3 off Etsy dirty Pictionary.
I feel like you at this point have a doctorate in erotic romance. So
no, not yet, because I haven't like found the ultimate sexy book that actually has plot and sexy. Because usually you get plot. I haven't found the perfect balanced book yet. but I will. I'm on its search, as you know, because I have to read all the books. And my TBR is gigantic. I have, Leah, I counted the other day. I have 37 books I need to read in the next 47 days. Between now and the end of the year.
Can you do a book a day?
I do a book a day now, plus my day job.
It's true. You can do it. You're fine then. And then you have room for 10 books that you want to read.
I might clear 10 additional books off my TBR.
And then add 10 additional books as you go.
Or clear the TBR.
My fast, like I've read a lot, is like 2 to 3 a week. Like that's my max. Like
that's great. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as long as you read a book.
Judge it from us.
We are.
Honestly.
And I don't read just romance. I read other stuff. So my romance TBR is just sad.
It's funny because you know how we're doing the Clear the TBR challenge that Becky thought up because she's like, oh, this is a great idea.
I was unattended for a whole day.
I can't. I cannot set myself up for that failure. So I'm like, I'm not doing.
But that's the
challenge.
thing. Everybody keeps adding more.
Yeah.
So Lindsay did the math because she's married to a mathematician and they're super smart people. She said if you read 2 to 3 books a week, that's 150 books per year. That's pretty amazing.
Most of the average American.
Yeah.
I don't know what that number is, but.
And then there's me.
You read what thousands of books per year?
700.
No, that's this year. It's a slow year.
That'd be awesome.
It's bad. I read a lot and I read fast, but I have a job now.
It's good.
So I can't read as much. I was a stay-at-home mom, so like when my kids went to school, like I didn't have to clean for 8 hours a day. Okay, so anyway, so this or that PG version.
And am I answering or is the chat answering?
Everybody. You are answering. Okay. And they are answering.
Do I need a pen or anything?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not a quiz this time. Okay. So vanilla or chocolate?
Chocolate.
You had to think about that one. Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset. I'm a night owl. I'm not going to get up for sunrise.
There was a lunar eclipse last night, and my husband, being the wonderful dad that he is, set his alarm for 4:00 this morning to go outside to look at the moon for my oldest because he was distraught at the fact that he would be sleeping when the highlight.
It was a beaver moon.
It was, and so they were very excited.
Beaver,
because it was like a full. Beaver. It was a full lunar eclipse, and my oldest was like so sad that he wasn't going to see it, but it was really cloudy in Pennsylvania, so we couldn't see it anyway. It was actually Jenny Kate, one half of Jiffy Kate, posted about the beaver moon, and so I showed my oldest the pictures. He's like, at least I got to see that.
Jazz says swirl. Susie says vanilla.
Everybody else says sunset so far.
Is it okay? So I'm gonna say, is it Anya?
I think it's Ayana.
Okay. She says vanilla. Or they say vanilla.
And Becky is sorry. She
Heather
can't
is sunset.
Names.
I am terrible at names, like terrible. And honestly, so we did a whole episode. I thought the guy's name was Rise. RHYS.
Rice. You said it was Rice.
Rice.
It's Reese?
I thought it was Rice. It's Reese. I read the whole book. His name was Rice. His name was not Rice.
Oh, you know what's really funny? So I read Outlander, Jamie in Outlander, very iconic character. My grandma read it in Spanish, and I started to talk with her about the book, and she kept saying Jaime. Jaime. I'm like, what the fuck is Jaime? Jamie in Spanish is Jaime. Sorry. That was the best. So she's been calling it the wrong thing that's what he is to her now.
That's so funny. And
That's
for
really
me,
funny.
That's what he will be forever now.
Yeah. Ayana said that. I said it right. So Ayana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ayana.
Okay. So
I apologize
text,
for butchering your name. I'm sorry.
Text or phone call?
Next. Who's calling?
Becky calls me all the time. Granted, we video chat, but
you know what?
I need a coworker.
WhatsApp voice messages are fine because I can listen to them whenever and respond whenever. So
I'd much rather, aside from Becky's face, I usually text everything.
I was gonna say.
Text.
Susie's a call person, so we have to remember that. We need to call Susie. Susie's a mom, too. Moms like to be called to hear their kids' voices.
Oh, well, I still live with mine, so it's different.
I wish mine wouldn't talk.
Is that a stage whisper?
Teens are the best. Yeah, my girl child's roaming around somewhere. I think she's feeding all her reptiles.
Okay, so coffee or tea?
Coffee, but I have to drink tea for health reasons. It's the saddest thing in my life. Coffee.
Like you had to give up the coffee?
Yeah. I can only drink caffeine-free tea, like herbal tea.
I mean,
technically, I should not be drinking this tequila. Let's just put it that way.
I mean, you could drink decaf.
No. And there's like coffee
It's like
substitutes. It's not the same.
Okay, decaf is like the saddest, like bean
It's
water
the
there
redheaded
is.
stepchild of coffee.
So-
Like it's not
Water.
even magical. It's just sad.
Hey,
I just drink Diet Coke.
My girl child loves her decaf coffee.
My girl child can tell the difference between the decaf and regular
She's
coffee.
Seven.
Mine was 5, so she used to make my father take her to the
She's
Speedway.
only allowed to
for
have
coffee.
the decaf.
We don't have rules.
She knows she's not allowed to have the full calf.
Araceli's a coffeeholic. Yeah, I used to be. That's what got me in trouble. Too much coffee.
Yes, Heather. Oat milk does suck.
Okay, I'm going to fight you guys on this because recently I've had to give up the dairy, which is very
I like
sad for
oat
my
milk.
cheese. Silk oat milk is very good. And
I
I
like oat
even
milk.
used it on my oatmeal and I didn't feel like I was cannibalizing the oats. So it was okay. I bought almond milk for my oatmeal every morning because I felt weird pouring oatmeal.
Oat milk on your oats.
It's okay. It's okay. Cannibalizing though. Yeah. Oh my god.
I mean, this is the stories that are in my head. This is why I don't write books.
I would read that book. Okay, so
Yeah.
ocean or pool?
Pool.
Travel or stay at home?
Travel.
Okay, wait. Why don't
What?
you like a pool over an ocean?
I used to
sand.
love the ocean, but you know that guy on TikTok that does like the Animal Kingdom videos,
Yes.
like exposes the natural world. He did one on sea snakes. I cannot
Oh.
get in the ocean again.
Oh. Now,
I
see,
cannot get in the ocean again.
I'm in
So,
Ohio and we're on Lake Erie, and there are water snakes, and they
yeah,
invade the beaches.
I have a phobia. Can't do it. Do not send me a snake as a joke or like a fake snake. I will like cry.
There's a snake in my house.
I would cry. I can't go
So
to
Ophelia cannot come visit you.
Can't come visit me.
Sorry.
I have a
I
tortoise
agree,
Come to
named
Heather.
Kansas
Perry,
City
though.
anytime though. I have no snakes.
I have a tortoise
agree.
named Perry.
Perry
He's
likes
cute.
to. He likes to dance. in
Fine.
his
I'm fine
enclosure.
with it's the slithering. I don't like worms or anything that can slither. It's that. It's not like I can do other reptiles. It's fine. It's just the slithering that gives me the heebie-jeebies. I don't know.
See, everybody wants to go to the pool. Heather's
No, but
like,
Heather has it right. She wants to hear and see the ocean, but she wants to swim in
Yes.
the pool.
Like those infinity pools that look over the ocean. Like that's
Mhm.
that's
Because
the
it-
perfect.
The ocean, you have to go through the sand to get to it, and then you're
Yeah.
all sandy and gross,
and
it
you get
gets in
sand
places
in
it's not
parts you
supposed to
shouldn't.
be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Infinity
I like-
pool. Yeah.
But I like the sound of the ocean.
Yeah, the sound is very, very calming.
People
Maria
are like,
just wants
"Why
to
are
stay
we
at home."
sitting here?"
What?
Me too, Maria. People are sitting here listening to us talk about these crazy
I know,
things.
right?
I asked how we were keeping this to an hour and I was not given an answer.
We don't really have a time limit. Like, they're not
Okay.
going to shut us down. We did.
Oh, I thought they were. I thought you wanted to do like the happy hour. Okay. I
No,
feel
no.
less stressed now.
Ophelia, do you remember our readathon? See, those are the kinds of things that happen when I am left unsupervised.
Unattended.
Yeah.
We end up with 8.5 hours of live streaming romance.
hmm That
Because
was. I thought that was so insane and brilliant. Like it was
so
like
fun.
brilliant insanity. I loved it.
Jazz just wants to know what time it. What is the
And she said,
time
"What
anymore?
is time anymore?"
It's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
And Lindsay said there's no snakes in Alaska, so you can go there.
And there are no snakes in Ireland, and there are no snakes in New Zealand. I have mapped the world to where I can go.
There are lots of snakes in Australia.
I will not.
How
be
are there
going to
not snakes
Australia.
in New Zealand, but there's lots of snakes in Australia?
New
I mean,
Zealand's an
It's
island.
an island.
I know it's an island. I'm not an idiot.
Well, they haven't swam over.
Apparently, those ocean snakes haven't gone over there yet.
Well, they're not on the land.
Yeah, but still.
Okay, but New Zealand has some crazy
Hawaii.
animals,
There are no snakes in Hawaii.
I would like to go to Middle Earth.
though.
Yes, I show you my
Middle
note
Earth?
there.
Um,
I haven't read those.
okay, well, you haven't read them yet, but the pictures of the Hobbit land and Middle Earth
Yeah.
are beautiful.
My brother went to New Zealand for a month for work, and they did this really cool panoramic like photograph for us. Yeah, my oldest like hijacked it. It's in his bedroom because he loves Lord of the Rings. I'm like, I like that picture too. He's like, it's mine now.
Nice.
But
Okay, what's
anyway,
your next
so I
question?
have two more. Ice cream or cake?
Ice cream.
I vote
Cake.
yes for that one too.
Cake.
You said that very sadly.
I can't have
can't
ice
have the
cream anymore.
dairy, yeah.
Can't have the dairy anymore. Although I can have sorbet, not sherbet.
Halo Top blueberry crumble. I don't think that's made with dairy.
I don't know. I
There
can
are
have-
dairy-free ice creams that
Ben
are
and
really
Jerry's
good.
has a dairy-free ice cream.
It's gross. I had it.
Is it?
It was gross. Yeah.
So
I-
Delicious has a coconut one that's like chocolate truffle that is orgasmically delicious, and it's
I might have to
coconut
try
milk.
that one. If I'm paying $6 for a container of ice cream, it had better
Needs
be
to be
like
good.
everything.
It is expensive.
It needs to be orgasmic. As
I
Sophia-
do like
Well, I'm a
pie,
chocolate
Lindsay.
person, so
See, I don't like chocolate. I like
Lindsay
chocolate.
picks
pie.
pie. I like pie.
I like
Yeah.
pie too.
Peach pie, sugar cream pie.
you sent me. You were talking about fry pies. I was like, "What the hell's a fry pie?" You sent me a picture. I'm like, Becky, that's an empanada.
It's a
The
ham
Amish
pie.
call them fry pies or pocket pies.
They're empanadas.
It's
I
making
just
me
said that
hungry
was
for
funny.
pie.
Okay, but
Yeah.
in empanada breading, it's not like short crust. It's not like a pie crust. It's more of a breading, right?
I'm not that technical into the baking. I just eat
Okay.
them. I'm sorry.
I watch a lot of British Bake Off.
empanadas. There
There are
are
dessert
empanadas in the
empanadas.
book. I forgot. Brent has empanadas in Napa Valley. I can't.
Oh, that's
pick it out.
right.
Forgot about that scene.
Okay, so last
Okay.
one. Hamburger or hot dog?
It
Hamburger.
was so anticlimactic.
It
Leah.
really was. I had a
Um,
really good burger tonight. We went to this local brewery and had this really good sour beer and this bacon and Gouda burger. Oh, it was so good.
I love a
was-
bacon and blue cheeseburger with lots of
I was
caramelized
so
onions.
full by the end of it and a
Get
little
yourself
buzz.
a little bottle of truffle oil and pour just a little bit over your patty in a burger. It's so good.
I may have to do that.
It's so
So-
good.
We eat a lot of burgers in my house.
Yes, truffle oil on the burger and on the Kraft mac and cheese. Truffle oil on the Kraft mac and cheese. Thank me later. It's so good. Sorry.
Mm. No, it
May have to
sounds
do that.
delicious. There is a food truck that
Umami.
comes through our town occasionally that does lobster rolls. I know Ohio lobster rolls, but they're actually delicious. And they had one that they call their high class lobster roll that had white truffle mayonnaise. So it was mayonnaise made with truffle oil. It was
Was that the day you guys went like hog wild on lobster rolls?
Yes.
Bought,
Yes, it
10
was.
of them?
Hog wild. That's mean.
they are like $25 a piece, and we ordered like
They got like 6
8.
of them. Hence
So
the
what-
hog wild.
So what's the this or that? Is that just to like
It's just to get to
each
know
other's-
you a little
okay.
bit.
Yeah, just to
Okay.
get to know you.
Just something fun for us
Burger,
to do.
burger. Yeah.
Burger. Okay. So in the chat, I'm going to put the Buzzing About Romance Patreon. Our podcast is an independent podcast. We have added some advertising, but at this point, we are funded completely by our Patreon. And because of our amazing Patreon members, we're able to provide you events like Happy Hour Lives. So if you would like to join us for things like we have
Drunk Book
monthly
Club.
giveaways, Drunk Book Club, our
That is now
romance,
just drunk club.
according to Ophelia's.
Tonto was like, that's not a book club. That's just a drunk club. I'm like, oh, fine, whatever.
We talked about the
fits.
book.
We do.
We totally
even
do.
have the author with us a lot of times. We definitely talk about the book.
You do have amazing. So, guys, if you want to be in this book club, it's so good because she actually has the authors join a lot of the time. Like we've had amazing authors join.
We've been really lucky to have some amazing authors throughout this. We've been doing it for a little over a year, and we try to, it's kind of community driven. Sometimes we pick the author and you guys just tell us which of their books you want to read. And sometimes we'll, like in January, we're going to give you a theme, and then you're going to nominate books that fit that theme. So, and then we'll reach out to the author and see if they want to come join us. And typically they're like, yes, we do. And we're like, okay, because we're like
and then we
special.
have some that after we're done, they're like, when can I come back?
Yeah, it's so fun. That's why you guys are getting a reputation.
Well, it's probably better than the other one we have.
Oh.
Okay, so we're not quite done yet, but I wanted to show you what we do have from the Buzzing About Romance swag. We have one of the page spreaders.
Kind of a dirty thing to call it.
Your paper.
It is. My mind went dirty play. I'm like,
I'm just saying, like, it's kind of dirty.
Yeah.
Buzzing About Romance.
For those paperbacks
shot
that
glass,
we all read.
right? That just sit pretty on my shelf. Buzzing About Romance, shot glass, and then, and I didn't even know you couldn't drink coffee and you only drink tea, but I have some special Mystic tea and a Crystal Charm infuser. And then my girl child, I buy her fancy fabrics, and she makes book sleeves. And so this one says, I'm a fucking delight. And it's a book sleeve that your book will fit in.
Oh,
and then there's some
I didn't know
stickers.
she made them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Those are
And
so
she
talented.
is a fucking delight.
She
So
is.
talented.
I am.
When does she turn 18? Are you going to let her be in the book club?
She could be in the book club now if she wanted, but she does not. She does not read straight romance.
Okay.
She only reads queer romance.
That's
And-
fine. We can
Nope.
read queer romance for book
I'm
club.
fine with it too. She'll tell you she's like best friends with Roan Parrish. That's her
She
lady.
can't have her. She's mine.
I'm pretty sure she'd fight you for her.
She would throw down for Rome.
She would throw down for Roan. Okay, Ofelia, we hinted a little bit, so tell us what is next coming up on the horizon for you. Now, real quick, did you publish your first book in 2021?
Yeah.
Okay.
June 30th was the first one. So I've been
That
in
is
this
good
less
to
than
know.
half a year. Less than half a year that I've been
That's
published.
so amazing. What an awesome year for you.
Yeah,
So you've got
I'm busy.
You've got 3
And
full-length
you met
novels out
us.
and a novella,
Just
and you met
kidding.
us. We're the highlight of everyone's year.
Yeah, I met you. That was the biggest thing to happen.
No, that's pretty exciting. You have 3 full-length novels out and then a novella, correct?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes. The novella's free for anybody who hasn't read it yet. It's on my website. And the next one coming up is the second book to the Rockstar series, and it's Lola and Carl, not Fritz. I'm sorry. I am writing Fritz, but I'm probably going to be publishing the next medical romance before Fritz. So I don't have dates for those yet, but I'm publishing both series, kind of alternating a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of at least 3 books coming out in 2022, and I think my pace is going to be about 3 to 4 a year.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Lindsay says you're crushing it. If
Hey.
anybody has any questions, Heather says it's so much fun. Highlight of my month. Drunk book club.
It's like going out to a bar with your girlfriends. Like we can't really do that much, so it's been
You don't
such
need
a
a DD.
relief. And
don't
I don't
need-
need to leave. I don't need pants.
Right.
I don't
No
need a
pants
bra.
required.
No shoes, and I still get service. It's great.
Yeah. Yes, Jazz, the shot glass was in honor of the tequila. But it's so exciting. I'm so proud of you. And Lindsay is like, you're crushing it. 3 books in
Thanks.
6 months. That's awesome.
Thank you.
You are crushing it. So we can expect Carl and Lola's story January-ish. And then the next in the medical drama after that.
Spring.
Spring. Fantastic. That's some awesome stuff to look for. If anyone has any questions, they can pop them up. Leah, do you have any other questions?
I don't have any more questions. We're all questioned out.
We're all questioned out. What the heck? How does that happen?
No.
I don't know either.
It's just because it goes so well. And we didn't have a lot of questions set.
We
because
didn't.
We knew it was going to go smoothly. So
Well, and I think also you're restraining yourselves a lot so as not to spoil things.
We do not want to spoil
we could
this
talk
book.
a lot about the book, but like I feel like if we say anything,
I am a child of the Mexican telenovela. So I am very into the plot twist. And I'm very into the double plot twist. So the plot twist you think is going to be the plot twist is not always the plot twist. So
I will say there is a moment after they find each other again when he is going through all of the stuff. I love that because he was so mad at her and she's like, and she understood, but I just wanted her to be like, you're the dummy who like made it this way. She didn't actually say that, but then she showed him that he is the dummy.
So when I've read books like this with that trope, I think there's such a push to make things very healthy and politically correct, where I've read recent ones where there's no reaction to this happening. And I'm like, that's not real. That's you would be upset. Like his reaction is valid. His feelings are valid. Why are you trying to make him not have feelings about this? And I think people struggle with it because they want the guy to be like totally like fine with it.
Well, but I like the fact that like she understood his reaction too. Like even though like she did try, like she still got like that his reaction was understandable and she wasn't mad at him like for having it and having those feelings.
She's the heartbreaker. Like she's just the heartbreaker.
She really is.
Okay, so Susie wants to know how many books will be in your series. So do you have a number of books plotted for Industrial November?
So it depends on how they go. So it's going to be up to the readers what they want to keep reading eventually. Like at the start, I want to give as much as I can so you guys can decide what you want me to keep writing. With the medical series, like I had two potential couples. I asked the readers and they wanted Ramiro stories. So that's what I'm writing now as well. I write multiple projects at a time. And with the Rockstar series, I told myself I was going to write the four main guys in the band, but there were other couples mentioned that I would also like to tell their stories, even though they're not in the main band, but they're in that circle that I would love to tell, but it's really if people want to keep reading in this series. If they don't, I'll just move on to a different project.
I would like to see the manager fall down a flight of stairs.
Roger?
Yeah.
Roger's redeemable.
No, he's not.
Is he though?
No, he needs to go down a flight of stairs. I'll help him down that flight of stairs.
Roger, I would like to tell Roger's story. And that's one of those where if the readers want to keep reading Industrial November, that would be one of the couples.
You will have to do big things with his book for us to like him. Big things.
Well, he pops up in all of them, right? So you're going to get to see his character development through the main books anyway.
At this moment, if there was a fictional character that I could punch, he is not number one on my list. Everybody knows number one on my list.
Even though you read him in Lola?
Yeah, he was a fucking jackass.
Okay.
He's a jerk. I told Leah that. I was like, I hate him.
You did.
I guess I needed an antagonist of some sort.
He does a good job as that.
I have not read it yet, but Becky was very firm on he's a jackass.
He's a jackass.
Okay.
Everybody's laughing at me and my Susie, Nico.
Yes,
Nico.
It is.
Nico is my fictional character that I want to punch. Roger is currently sitting at number 2.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Nico from this book.
No.
Natasha Madison's Nico.
Natasha Madison has a hockey romance.
I was like, Nico, you can't hate Nico.
No, I don't hate Nico. Not your Nico. Different Nico
Okay.
who gets punched.
Who deserves
okay.
multiple dick punches.
Okay. So, everybody, if you are watching for the first time, make sure you click like and subscribe for our channel. We will be back on December the 9th with author Danica Flynn, and we're going to chat with her about her upcoming release, Accidentally in Love. It's a brewery series, correct?
We're
Yes,
doing
it
a
is.
giveaway
That was
too?
not intentionally going
Yep.
to be a series, but
And
we'll
we're
talk
gonna
to
do our-
Danica all about that.
Right. So let's do our giveaway. Give me a hey in the comments if you are still here hanging out with us, so we know how many peoples we have hanging out.
And I have a hardcover too, a signed hardcover.
Yes.
So I don't know if you are doing one person gets everything or two.
I was going to do two.
winners. Okay,
Someone will
cool.
get our swag box, and someone will get the signed hardback copy of Hiding in the Smoke. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, Ofelia, pick a number between 1. Oh, now there's 8. Oh, Heather's still here. Okay, I'm just going to write these down now. We'll just stick with it for a second.
Oh, 9. Hilda popped in at the end there.
Hey, that's fantastic. I'm so glad they stuck around to our chaos because, we're a special kind.
We are.
And
It's like hanging out
Maria?
with friends, though. That's my thing. Like this is what we would be doing if we were just hanging out.
It is.
We
exactly.
need to do some type of like reader convention, and meet up in person and like paint the town afterwards.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I need to go tequila tasting. That is like now on my bucket list. I need, and the tequila train.
Wait,
There's the in Tequila, Mexico.
Yeah.
There's a it's okay. So Tequila, Mexico is like an hour away from Puerto Vallarta, and there is a train that takes you from Puerto Vallarta to Tequila, and it's the Jose Cuervo train.
I would ride that.
Like
You would
I
ride
need
that
to.
train? Come on, ride that
I
train.
would ride that. I need a T-shirt for Leah that says I would ride that.
I would wear that.
You would wear it too. It's like, okay, who's planning the Europe trip for book club? Oh yeah, they want to go to Europe for book club. We want to go to Vegas. New Orleans has been thrown around.
There is
So-
a reader romance convention in Paris. A romance reader convention
Yeah.
in Paris.
Okay, Ofelia, pick a number between 1 and 11.
Between 1 and 11. 7.
Okay. And I'm gonna say her name wrong, but Arceli.
Araceli?
Yes. I call her Arcee.
Araceli.
She is my friend. I chat with her all the time on Instagram. You are the
Oh,
winner
you
of
connected me with her for the Spanish
Yes,
translation. That's how I met Araceli. I didn't even know that I met her through you.
Yep, that was through me. You are the winner of the signed hardback copy of Hiding in the Smoke. And
Yay.
you can, hold on, I'm putting our email address in, thebees@bookcaseandcoffee.com. And you can email me your address and I will forward it on to Miss Ofelia. Okay, I need another number between 1 and 11 that is not 7.
3.
And 3. So we have 3 is Maria. Maria, if you email me your address to thebees@bookcaseandcoffee.com, I will send you out our book sleeve and the page spreader, the tea, and the shot glass. So that's Maria. And
Page spreader.
what else is it?
I don't know, but it's
Thumb
so
page
dirty.
holder. Okay. I'm getting yelled at. Anyway.
I like book spreader.
I do too. It just makes me
I think
giggle.
it's just book spreader.
Anyway, our 2
It
winners.
needs to have like 2 like little like clips on it, like you would on a leg spreader, but
Okay, we are
that I would
falling
know.
off the train. Thank you to everyone for joining us this evening. I
you
froze.
froze.
You
Becky.
did froze. Look at Becky's.
That is
Can you
great.
It's
Screen
a
up?
great moment.
Oh my God.
The reaction is like, can we take a screenshot? No, I wouldn't do
Good
that.
night.
Wait, I'll take a picture.
Oh, thank you so much for
Thank you so
having
much
me.
for coming to happy hour. And thank you to everybody who stuck it out with us. It was such, I'm saying good night, pleasure. Thank you so much, everybody.
Good night and salud,
And-
my friends.
Until next time.
Oh, there she is. You okay there?
Happy reading, everybody.
I'm trying to get Mike to turn my camera off. This is a mess. Good night. Thank you,
Good
everyone.
night.
I hope you got your pictures. It'll be on YouTube for prosperity. So, yay.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everybody.